Like say, all right, let's bring it to Milwaukee. You guys had a play-in.
Yeah.
You had to play in. You're in Las Vegas, right? So, and this is the shit I have to. It's unfortunate, but it comes with the business. So you guys a play-in situation. I believe you lost. Yeah, you guys lost to Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, we do lose the Indiana.
So yeah, and I got word that Bobby Portis, kind of went off.
But he didn't go off.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you, he challenged. What I mean by go off, he challenged the coach, which was Adrian Griffin at the time. Coach, that we got to be better. We're not being put into the right situations down the stretch of games, and basically challenging them to be better. Like we got to, we're not.
But that's not go off. If somebody's so now people can't take constructive criticism.
No, I ain't saying that. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often.
No, but what do you mean it doesn't happen often?
It doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't happen often that you know about. That's what you're going to want to say. Because in teams that win championships and teams that won't go all the way.
I like that.
Everybody talks and everybody knows their place.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, I'm saying, like, it's weird for people to just be like, oh, my God, look, this guy said this in the locker room, said that. Because it's not true 100% because it just portrays a character out there, which is also unfortunate for my guy Bobby.
Yeah,
because I'm like, bro, why would people say that?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Okay, so in my report, in my story,
I mean, you did actually said that after you tried to explain that it was what you said. He sat like saying we got to be better.
Yeah, we got to be better. He challenged the coach. He challenged the coach to be better. We got to be better down the stretch. We got to be more prepared, have more sets. And I believe that's what it was like. We're not calling anything down the stretch or something like that. But that's a point. That's the part about being a leader, and I wrote about that. Bobby's one of the leaders of the team. He has a voice. Definitely. Yeah, he has a voice.
Most definitely.
So he's going to say something.
Yeah, we've been together for, bro. People don't understand this. The Bucks, like it's 5-7 people, bro. We've been together almost past half a decade. Yeah, like that's a long time.
That's rare. That's rare. And so I said he has the voice and the leeway to do that. And Coach Griffin, he acknowledged it. He talked about it the next day. When he was asked about it, he said, "Hey,
he was asked about it."
Oh yeah, of course he was asked about it.
Well,
Tia, where have you been, man? Listen, you're a part of media now, man. This is your job now.
So now I understand. I do the podcasting, and I learned through the podcast, by the way. But what I necessarily don't do is because I don't be on Twitter, I don't be on that, so I can't like catch everything that's going on because I gotta. At the same time, I'm learning through the podcast. I'm not using the podcast to say, "Hey, I want to do stuff like that," but. Now I'm starting to understand like how the system is working.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have a role, TA. You're a part of it, man. You're a part of it. So yeah, Coach Griffin acknowledged it the next day when he was asked about it. And I do even remember, this never got out, but I remember Griff, I guess, addressed you guys at practice, the next practice you guys had after that, and said he wished that post-game situation would have been handled differently.
Might have said that. I can't really remember. I don't want to.
But at the end of the day, again, yes, those things do happen.
Yes.
But that was just some information that I got. So,
but how do you feel about breaking it?
No,
that's
where I want to get to. That's where I want to get to.
Like me personally, I'm like, no, I'm on his ass. Like, no, bro, you're not supposed to do that.
But listen, I didn't report it in a way that made Bobby. I don't feel like I reported it in a way that made Bobby look bad. I think I was just reporting at the time the level of frustration because his team was not playing up to the level that most people expected. Yeah,
this is not the guys that common. It's a common state. It's not a common secret. Like
exactly.
Of course, we wanted to play better. Everybody wants to play better.
So that's the way I framed it in the story. It was like it's just frustration being built up, and this is what happened. Bobby's not a bad guy. I didn't paint him as a bad.
Never.
Bobby's great. He's coming on my pod pretty soon. But when I so that's all. But I will say this. So when I do break stories like that, people, because you have so many relationships, people always want to ask, where'd you get it from? Mm-hmm. Where you get it from?
Where'd you get it from?
Sources, league sources. That's where I got it from. That's where I got it from. Thank you for asking. But no, people will say, well, Dame is right there. Jay Crowder is right there. Giannis, Thanasis, my cousin is Mariah. Yeah. Mariah.
By the way, I didn't know by the way, when I found out you're Mariah's cousin, right?
What did you find out?
This is like during COVID, 2020.
2020, that's when you found out?
Because she was doing something. I was like, oh, Chris. And then I think, I was like, oh, Chris is her cousin. You guys are cousin. But I didn't even know how. Like,
bro, it tripped me. So this might have been 2018. I don't remember. But my dad, I'm from Fresno, California. Yeah. My dad, he'll say some stuff that be out of pocket, and I just like dismiss him. Like, Dad, be quiet. So I'm somewhere on the road. My dad calls me. He was like, hey, I just saw the Greek freak walking around your high school here in Fresno. I'm like, what? I said, man, what you talking about? I said, Giannis? Like, yeah, I think I saw Giannis here in Fresno. I'm like, Giannis ain't here no Fresno. And I didn't hang up on him, but I just dismissed. I'm like, Giannis ain't here no Fresno. Then somebody called me and was like, yeah, Giannis was at Edison High School, which is the high school I played at, which is Mariah's dad.
Yeah, Mr. Pat. Mr.
That's
Pat.
where
Shout
he coached.
Mr. Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
Number 34.
34, Fresno State.
Fresno State.
Pat coached me at Edison. And so somebody told me, like, he was. So now I'm like, okay, he was. Now, why is Giannis? Because Mariah didn't tell me nothing. So I'm like, why is Giannis?
Talk about the relationship,
I understand, but it's family. Like, how I'm not going to find out. Well, anyways, so now I'm trying to figure out why was Giannis in Fresno, of all places? Like, nobody comes to Fresno. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot how I found out. And when I found out Mariah, I was like, Mariah, how in the world did you not tell me? Like, I felt bad as being an NBA insider and not knowing something that's going on in my family. That's the shit I was kind of mad about. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, so that was so people start trying to connect dots. Well, who you know, who's telling you all that stuff. And then it puts you guys, a lot of times, may put players in. I remember when I was in Portland,
in a tough spot because at the same time, people don't want to see you around. Like, you know what I'm saying?
People wanted, like, my career started in
Mind
Portland.
you, we are the total opposite because we're not even from here. So we're the
total
opposite. It's crazy when people say, like, oh, you knew him or that. But I'm starting now doing this podcast trying to, like,
so you're saying you're not a source. That's what you're saying?
How would I be a source?
You would.
I barely know what you I'm
going to tell you right now.
Go.
I've been on your pod now.
So what?
So now, when I break a Bucks related story, oh, he was on the Thanasis pod a month ago.
So what, guys? If you think it's whatever, you can do whatever you want to think, bro. I barely speak English.
No, I was playing, man. But no, that's what my first job was covering the Blazers, and that's where I obviously that's where I met Dame. But I know general managers. I know agents. I know many players. I know players' family members. Family members love to talk a lot of times. And a lot of times when I would break Portland news, hey, family members, yeah. I mean, they got to be the reliable ones, but yeah, it's like your source could be anybody. It could be a general manager, it could be owners, agents, players, family members. That's pretty much the extent.
But why do they want to break this? This is my thing. Why do they want to break? How does it benefit? That's my thing. That's what I want to understand.
How does it benefit? The benefit, well, the role has been termed insider now. So that's been like the official term for about the last 5 years. TA, to put it bluntly, and short,
be honest.
There's money in it.
It's money in it.
There's money. Nice money in it. Yes, nice money in it. It is. Do I like doing it? At times.
Hold up, bro. Hold on.
There's money in it, man.
Money for who, though?
Money for the insider.
1 second. Now, full stop. Let me get this straight, bro.
Yeah.
So people give you bread? They be paying you?
No.
Are you paying
That's
them?
not what I'm saying. No. That's not what I'm saying.
So what you're saying? When you say it's money, this is getting tricky now.
I'm saying the insider role, companies pay a nice premium for somebody who has all the information, has the connections.
Oh, got all the information, got the connection. Okay, yes.
Not that we pay. No, we don't pay anybody. No. That's not what I'm saying.
I want to say because
but people want to know the companies, they want to be
close to
they want to be close, and they want to be able to say you broke the story, or TNT or ESPN or The Athletic, you broke the story. You own it. right? You own that story when you get it out. And then there's a lot of buzz that comes with that. Yeah. There's a lot of buzz that comes with writing a real great, thorough, detailed story. One, I wanted to write it on you. And I brought this to your attention like months ago, and you declined it. You respectfully declined it, which is fine.
But why did I decline it, though? Be honest with me. Because I told you, that ain't my thing.
But you know why? You know why I wanted to do it? Because
I appreciate you, though.
No, I'm going to tell you why.
You know how I feel about that, but I appreciate
I'm going to tell you
though.
why I wanted to do it. Because first of all, I found out something new. And then secondly, it was you got this rap, right?
Yeah.
Where they feel like you're here because of your brother.
They can feel the type of way they want to feel.
And for me, as a journalist, I love shedding light on peeling back the curtain. Because, that's breaking news too. You're peeling back the curtain, you're revealing what's going on. But revealing, like, if people know what you be, like, the role you really have, the stuff I've heard, I was like, you will understand the impact that you have in a locker room. And not just an impact in a Bucks locker room. You will have that same impact in any NBA locker room.
I appreciate you.
But that's what I wanted to reveal. And so people could have a different view. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I like changing the narrative, especially when the narrative is a false narrative.
No,
so that's why.
Most definitely. But at the same time, that my thing has always been, when you told me that, I told you, most important thing is them. It ain't me.
I feel you.
It's them and what they're doing and the team. Because what gives us the best feeling, the best happiness is when the team succeeds, right? And the team goes well, we all feel good. We all feel great.
But T.A., I have a responsibility, though.
Oh, yeah, you do. No,
I have a responsibility to, like, if I know that there is a false narrative being told, if I know somebody is being, if somebody is being labeled something that they truly aren't, and I know they're the opposite of that, it's my job. Once I have that knowledge, it's my job to try to shed light. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's all I was doing. That's all I was attempting to do. And so that's it.
I appreciate you. It was crazy. It was an in-season tournament.
I get you.
But but let's talk about you. Hey, this is my podcast, man. Let's talk about you. I want to know about you. So if you had a player, which is the player like you've learned the most in the league from, or athlete, like not a player, NBA player, but just an athlete you've learned the most from?
It would be an NBA player. LeBron, Dame, Draymond, KD, and Giannis. Those probably be the four players.
What you learn from LeBron? What you learn?
Well, LeBron goes back to media. So I covered LeBron the year he went back to Cleveland after he left Miami.
Yes.
So on my path to trying to be a national NBA reporter at that time, because I was a beat guy, I took the Cleveland job and that's where, your producer Tony, that's where I met Tony. That's where I met Tony.
Yeah.
But I took that job to have a more high profile. You in Portland, like, people aren't looking at you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're low profile. So I wanted to get to national status. And so covering the Cavaliers during that time, that was my way of trying to have a stepping stone to get there. But anyways, first year covering LeBron, and he has Kyrie Irving on the team. He has Kevin Love on the team. And that first year, similar to what you guys went through earlier in this year, it was tough. Like, it was tough for those guys trying to mesh. And it got to a point where LeBron James was cryptically calling out Kevin Love. And I remember it was like a tweet. He's like, fit in or fit out or something like that. And it was just like,
he wasn't calling out Kevin Love.
Man,
stop it, bro. He wasn't
calling
out it. Y'all be putting stuff on people.
Man, there you go. So you pro player. So you still got that. I can't wait till you retire. Then you step over into this realm full time.
No, stop.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you. So he was.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, he was. There was like Kevin Love was trying to find his role and things just wasn't working. And it was some friction. It was some friction there. Kevin Love, Kyrie, all that, right? But that happens early on in the season when guys mesh it for the first time. But anyways, so I go and write a story. It's one of my first critical stories I had to write. And I wrote a story about LeBron James, and I was calling out his leadership tactics in the story. I didn't have that good of a relationship with him at the time that I do now. because it was still early on. Excuse me. And so I call him out, leadership tactics in dealing with Kevin Love and Kyrie. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. Like, I was scared. Like, I was like, okay, what is this going to do to me? Like, what is this article how is it going to affect me? The locker room, how is it going to affect I didn't have, like, again, me and Bron had just really met. It was like 3 months into the season or something like that. So I was like, how is this going to affect us moving forward? Anyways, I wrote it. And one thing about being a journalist, you were always taught that if you write or say something negative about a player, you show up the next day to practice. You show up the next day at the game. Let that team, let that player see you. Face up. Don't write something and then don't show up. Show your face. So I went to the game the next day after that story. I went to the locker room. LeBron does his media scrum session. And when LeBron talks, it's over. So then everybody goes out. So I'm like, all right, cool. All right, made it out. Okay, everything went cool. So we're walking out, and he was like, C, with that deep voice he got. C, come here, man.
You ain't going nowhere.
I was like, fuck, damn. I already knew what this is about because he's never called me to the side before. So he pulls me to the side, and he's like, I just want to say something. He said, I didn't have a problem with what you wrote. Like, if that's what you see, you around the team, you have relationships. If that's what you gathered, I don't have a problem with it. He said, the only problem I had was that you didn't come to me and ask me, why am I conducting my leadership style this way? He said, because then I could tell you why I'm doing such and such to this player and why I'm doing it differently towards this player. Because certain players may need a different leadership style. And this time, I think he was trying to challenge Kevin Love at this time. I think he was trying something. But he said, if you would have came to me and I could have just gave you my side so you have an understanding. He said, now, if you still want to write what you wrote, cool. But at least you came to me and understood where I was.
You definitely got to do that.
And I didn't. And from that point on, TA, whether it's a critical story, I don't write too many of those anymore because I'm not a columnist. I play like a columnist a little bit when I was in Cleveland. But when I break a story that might be deemed negative or look negative on a player, coach, or whatever, I will always call that player beforehand and let them know, hey,
this is about to go out.
This is about to go out. I got this. Now, there have been times where a player, when I made that call, the player has said, hey, C, nah, this is why I did this. No, C, it happened this way. And I killed the story based off of that.
Because it might not be true, too.
Yeah,
that's true, might be in between. I mean,
that's true, too. And I have to make a judgment call because if it's in between, something happened. I don't know quite what happened, but I'm like, nah, let's kill that.
Okay.
And so that's what Bron
That's
did.
solid of you.
Yeah.
That's solid of you.
That's what Bron. But every time.
I'm going to give you
every time.
a fist bump right there.
Ask, like you could ask Jay Crowder, when he's in Phoenix, like I will always, his last year in Phoenix didn't. He was.
You did something about my boy,
Hey
Jay?
man, it wasn't even negative.
No, I brought you this podcast. You can talk about home.
It wasn't negative. It wasn't negative. But that last year, he was he was a holdout. That last year in Phoenix before he got to Milwaukee.
What do you mean?
So remember, he was in Phoenix and he was in a contract dispute. It was something to do with a contract dispute, and he didn't play. TA, come on, TA.
Well, I didn't know.
TA, he came. Y'all got him because he sat out in Phoenix.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to know you?
Yes. So while he was sitting out, like I would hear stuff, and I would call him, and let him know.
That's why.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know that? 'Cause I'm thinking like, okay, he just don't want to. He just want to force his. How am I supposed to know?
Look at you, man. See, TA, you ain't dumb. You just playing like that.
Oh,
you ain't
my
done.
God.
You come on, man. Y'all know. Y'all know more than what y'all let know, man.
I'll
Stop
say one
it,
thing.
man.
But this is the misconception. You be thinking that we really care about that. We want to play and go back to our families. Y'all be thinking like, oh, they know, and this is what's going on, and that's why he walked that way, and he didn't show up. Like, no, it's not that at all. We don't.
Yeah.
We're thinking about the game.
I will always, and Giannis. I've hit Giannis a few times. I text Giannis about a story that I have.
He don't even text you back, bro. No way.
Sometimes he texts me back. Hey, one time I forgot what story I had.
One time he be like, stop.
No, yeah. He was like, Chris, stop this shit.
I knew. He probably like, no, because I know who he is. He don't subscribe to that
Chris,
shit.
stop this shit.
He don't subscribe to that shit at all. So, but man, okay, you do all these things and you become real successful. Like, what's your advice to the next Chris Haynes? Like, what's your advice to like somebody working his way up? Because you went to different places now, like,
yeah,
and you still. And we'll talk about that a little bit later when you.
I would say, be yourself. Again, like when it comes to sideline reporting, right? I'm not the, there are great people who are good on TV, are very articulate.
Yes.
And they're just polished. Man, I come from Fresno, California, West Side Fresno. I come from the hood, right? So I don't have that. Hey, we're here in blah, blah, blah. We're here in Milwaukee. That's not me. Like, and so I've had to, TNT gave me some classes, like some television classes that I took, to get better with speaking on camera and things like that. And I think it's key to be yourself, but also, there's definitely a reason to get a little bit more polished. Okay. And I had to allow for that to happen. And and so when I see, like, I love when I go back home, and not even going back home, but like when I see my people, man, when they be like, bro, you making us proud out there. Like when we see you, we feel like we can do it. And that's what I want.
Yes, sir.
That's what I want, because not everybody's going to be able to come out here and have that talk like that. But you do have to, the audience has to understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? Yes. So you do have to polish yourself up and be professional, but they see a real one up there. Okay. And I'm as real as it gets, bro. Real talk. And so that's I would honestly just tell the up and coming youth, black, white, Asian, Mexican, whatever race, whatever ethnicity, be yourself. But also just do the work. Try for it. Just be yourself and just do the work necessary to get to wherever you want to get to. That's all.
But now talk about a real one. Hey, contract is up. Not my contract.
Ooh, where you get that? Where your sources coming from?
Your contract.
Where your sources coming from?
I don't know. Hey, and I know you're not gonna break it here.
Yeah. Where your sources coming from? Thanasis.
I'm just saying, your contract is up. I heard in the media space, contract is up.
Damn. Well, man, listen.
How does it work with contracts in the media space? Like, you got to wait till the summer, or is it in the year, or how does it work?
So
now you know how it feels, huh? Now you know exactly how it feels when you come to me and you break the news.
You put me on the spot. My contract is up late August, September, or something like that. Okay. Before next season. Before next season starts.
All right.
So yeah.
We'll see. So now you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you gotta ask a question, T. You gotta ask a question.
You broke like 25 stories. Like, oh, this guy did this guy did that. Oh, he gonna sign there. He getting traded. No, you gonna ask for the bag.
No, I plan to stay with TNT.
Okay,
that's
okay.
my plan.
They gonna give you a bag and stay.
That's my plan. That's my plan, man. Come on, T.
Yes, okay.
So you got sources, man.
People moving around.
Who you talking to? Who you talking to, TA? See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. You done had Stephen A here, and I know you about to have more media members, so your sources are growing. That's how it happens.
But you know what was the most important thing? I've realized, like, doing the podcast and doing all these things, like camaraderie, and how many people like really like you, but they, you don't have a relationship with them, but you don't know they actually are fans of like you and
Yeah.
fans of your work, and vice versa, because you never had a relationship with them because you just either players when it comes to media or fans or ownership. Like you don't know, because even with other teams, you know how many players like I've interviewed and I've did podcasts that, you know, I do have a relationship with, and some I didn't. I just they was like, man, I love what you're doing. Like you're great, dude. Like you great. I would love to have you as a teammate or have you as a or hang out with you, because it's you don't know till you meet somebody. So yeah,
and again, to my point about the original story that I wanted to pitch, because you're speaking about what I'm talking about. People don't know until they know. And that's my job. I'm telling y'all, like I have some great behind the scenes anecdote stories on this guy about
Just
what
keep
this
it-
guy.
keep it behind the
I'm
scenes.
out of respect for you, I'm gonna keep. No,
appreciate
out of
it,
respect
bro.
for you, I'm gonna keep that. But yeah, eventually, I will hope that people, because you like, there's things always going on in locker rooms, especially young locker rooms, right? And that's why, like Udonis Haslem, like he was so.
I love you. I need to bring Udonis on the
Hey,
pod. He started. I think he started a new one called OGs. Hey, go look at it. It's amazing. Big shout out to OGs.
him and Mike Miller.
Yes. I would love to have him on
But
here.
I've seen a trend over the last handful of years where teams are not valuing a veteran presence in the locker room.
Yeah.
And they're just letting young guys just roam the locker room. And that's all, most of the time that's going to lead to trouble. Because you always need a veteran guy that, not somebody that's just going to tell everybody what to do, but when you got a veteran guy, even if he, like Harrison Barnes in Sacramento, he's not a vocal guy, but you can see, players see that he's a professional. They see how he works, how he carries himself. And when you're around that, you incorporate that. And sometimes you incorporate it and not even know you do. But you see that model every time. And then there are vets, right, like yourself, who are on teams that have a lot of veteran guys. You got Bobby Portis, now you got Pat Bev in there, you got Giannis. But I wish people knew how much your voice resonates in the locker room. See, I'm giving shit away already. No. But people like, I'm gonna say this: his voice resonates in the locker room. His voice resonates.
But it's not my. I don't think it's my voice. I think it's my spirit and my presence, because you gotta understand what my role is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get ready every day. Do you know how hard it is? And I say this all the time. And I had a thing about asking me like what my role is, because people out there go out there and say whatever they want to say because they don't know what my role is in the team. And and my thing is not to go out there and tell me what my role is, but I'll tell you one thing: I get ready every time, every day. Like I'm about to play. Like I'm about to start every day. For what? For 3-4 minutes, and depending on the score, and if I'm in the rotation, not in the rotation, every day, never skip that amount of work, and do it with grace, and always with a smile on my face, and depending on how the game goes up and down, and always be there. And I don't never talk about basketball. Try not to, but the way I dissect the game, and the way what I see, and the way that's different,
and that's what I've heard.
Okay,
that's what I heard.
But I say it, and I do this at the best of my abilities. But most important thing for me is that, and I've always been this way, because one of my best traits, if you ask anybody, they'll tell you like I'm dependable. Like that's like when you look at me, you're like I got somebody in my corner. So I've always been this way. Yeah. But the most important thing for me now is that everybody is this way. I give it. So it's not my voice; it's my spirit.
No, I'm gonna tell you. It is your voice, but it's your work ethic, it's your spirit and your energy, which gives your voice credence. Okay, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because if you weren't doing all that stuff to be prepared, your voice wouldn't mean anything.